we'll gain some insight. How many of you are here for class? What class? PE.
Like health, and politics.
Okay, cool. So what does healthy living mean to you guys? I'm gonna make everybody say something. So
Emotional and physical well-being.
emotional and physical.
Yeah, same. It's knowing how to have a healthy diet, exercise, and also mental
Yeah.
and academically.
Yeah.
So basically being like, like good, physically well and mentally good at a great mental state, and actually emotional as well.
Yeah. No, you're all right. So there's a lot of things that go into health. It's a very, very broad and all-encompassing thing, especially when we're talking about our personal health. A lot of times if you ask somebody, and obviously you're all in classes or something along those lines regarding health, so you know this, but if you asked a normal person who hadn't gone to school and had a class regarding that, what does health mean to you, they'd probably be like, oh, if my heart works, or if I can do 20 push-ups or something like that. But there's so much more that goes into that, and we need to be able to understand that so that we know, if we're taking care of ourselves on all fronts. So, how many of you have heard of a wellness wheel? No?
No.
Wellness wheel? So, I know healthy living, what that kind of means to me is wellness, and maybe this is something you'll get to in your classes, but wellness is considered kind of an all-encompassing thing, kind of like what you guys talked about. There's a wide variety of aspects that all go into an overall healthy lifestyle or your overall wellness or your personal well-being. Now, depending on who you ask, there's anywhere from 6 to, I've even seen 10 levels of wellness. Like I've seen multiple wellness wheels and people are like, oh no, there's 6, no, there's 7, no, there's 8. For the purpose of this presentation, we're going with 6 because it's the very basic one. They start kind of dissecting some things into other parts, and I think this is the most pertinent information that's gonna help you guys hopefully kind of realize where you're at and areas you might be able to improve in your life, and also notice areas where you're doing really well. So, you guys mentioned emotional. You mentioned your mind. So intellectual. Then you also mentioned physical. Something else that we can take into consideration is social, spiritual, and occupational or financial. Kind of makes sense, right? Cool. So all of these things can be broken up into our colorful wheel here, and that's kind of part of the activity I'm going to have you guys doing. All right. So, social wellness. That is pertaining to relationships, respect, your community interaction. How do we relate to others? How we communicate and connect and get along with the people around us. Can you guys maybe give me some examples of things that, would you mind sitting just right there for me? Or just taking that stuff? We have it doesn't really matter where you sit, we just got an activity. So, can you guys give me some examples of, how this might affect how you feel or your overall wellness or your overall health?
When you're in
No, go ahead.
when you're in a bad relationship or friendship, you think about it too much, and then it affects you in education and how you interact with other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Mine was similar. I was just going to say, if you're in an unhealthy relationship with family, friends, or your partner, it'll kind of bleed into other aspects of your life.
Yeah, no, exactly. So that's, how we interact with others, our friendships, our relationships with significant others, our relationships with our family, friends, stuff like that. These all play into, your social wellness, because these have an effect on how you feel about yourself and how you view the world. Spiritual wellness. So, your own personal meaning or meaning in life, your values, your beliefs, establish peace and harmony in our lives, and your ability to discover meaning and a purpose in life. So, whether you're religious or not, you're spiritual, you're agnostic, you're atheist, this kind of plays into how you view the world around you, and it also is something that's very important, to how you see your overall health. Emotional wellness, feelings, emotions, reactions, cognition, or your recognition of those feelings, being aware that you're angry or being aware that you're sad, having the emotional intelligence to understand why you're feeling that way. This is the dimension where you are in touch with your feelings and emotions of sorrow, joy, love, etc. So being, this helps us cope with emotional challenges of life. Like I said, understanding why you're feeling the way that you do. Occupational or financial wellness. Who in here wishes they were a little bit better off in this category? Yeah? So your skills, your finances, balance, satisfaction, finding fulfillment in your job and knowing it has meaning. Also includes your ability to establish balance between work and leisure time. Like financial is also up there. I think everybody thinks if they had a little bit more money, they'd probably feel a little more at ease. So this is also an aspect of overall health and wellness. It has to be taken into consideration. Maybe. All right. Intellectual wellness. So critical thinking, creativity, curiosity, the desire to be a lifelong learner, being open to new experiences and ideas in order to continue growing. You guys are already clearly moving in the right direction. You're in college. Yeah. Right. So, this is something I think is really important and people don't take into consideration enough. Particularly being open to new experiences and ideas for continued growth. Because I think a lot of people, once they get out of college, they kind of just stop. They get a job and it's like, all right, I got a job. Good to go. But, even after that, you should still keep reading. You should still try new things, travel, new experiences. Because those are just going to help open your mind and hopefully you'll learn something from it. Physical wellness. I think this is kind of the obvious one whenever we talk about what is living a healthy lifestyle, what is wellness, what is health. People automatically think your body, nutrition, healthy habits, overall health, and what you need to do to maintain a high quality of life. It also includes your ability to take charge of your health and make conscious, healthy decisions to be healthy. So understanding that you have control of your physical health. Mm-hmm. So, sweet. This activity, I think, is pretty neat, and hopefully you guys will get something out of it. So we're going to go through, and I'm going to read each statement, and you'll notice on your handy-dandy little wheel of happiness here that they're numbered 1 through 36. Sorry. So you're going to fill in the corresponding pie-shaped section of the wheel to the degree that you are achieving this. So, for example, number 1 is I eat a balanced and nutritional diet. You would take the orange colored pencil And if you think that, and you notice there's a secondary circle in here that says 50, that's roughly 50%. So if you eat a balanced and healthy diet half the time, fill it into the 50% mark. If you do it 75% of the time, fill it in up to here. If you do it all the time, then fill it all the way up. And we're going to go around through each of these questions. So if you feel like you're doing this 100% of the time, color in the entire thing, 60%, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to go through and do this for all of these with the corresponding colors in each section. And then at the end, you're going to be able to kind of evaluate yourself and how you feel. Areas obviously you might need to improve on. You can also kind of get an idea of things that you are being successful in and maybe figure out how to apply what you're doing in that area to other areas where you might need some improvement. Sound good? Make sense? Cool. So the physical section is the first section, the top right quarter, or sixth, I guess, not quarter. With the orange pencil, I eat a balanced nutritional diet. So hopefully the majority of the time, you guys are eating homemade meals, home-cooked meals, lots of veggies, lean meats, fruits. Not so many cheeseburgers. Cool. Everybody ready to go on to the next one? I exercise at least 3 times per week. So at least 3 times a week. Now, if you exercise more than that, by all means, fill it up. And exercise doesn't have to be getting into the weight room either. If you go walking for 30 minutes in the evenings, or you play soccer or basketball with your friends or something like that, as long as you're getting in some type of physical activity, it counts. The next one, I choose to abstain from sex, or sex is enjoyable and I practice safe sex. So, percentage-wise, are you being safe about these practices?
Well, I am 8 months pregnant, so.
Congratulations.
Nearly 8 months.
I do not use alcohol or use in moderation if I do, and I am a non-smoker and avoid street drugs. I am generally free from illness, so if you don't get sick very often or anything like that, fill it in. If you get sick, I don't know, once, twice, 3 times a year. And then I am a reasonable weight for my height. So that was the last one for the orange. You guys ready to move on to the next one? So, the finance or occupation section, this will be yellow. It will be the right 1/6 of our pie charts here. So, I have a solid balance between saving for the future and spending for the present. And this is all based off of your guys' own judgment, If you think you could do better at these things, then put it low. If you think you're doing well at these things, put it high. There's no wrong answer. This is all based off of you and how you see how you're doing thus far. My beliefs and values surrounding money are harmonious with my behavior. So that means you're basically, you're spending money how you think you should be spending it. So, what I am doing with work and school has purpose. So, hopefully you guys all put 100 on that one. And I use money positively. Examples, little or no gambling or excessive massing of goods. So you don't just go spend money just because you have it burning a hole in your pocket. You're being conscious of your purchases. You can take some of these. We're basically filling it in on how much we feel we're doing successfully wise in these areas. I have a balance between work or school and the other areas of my life. So some of you might have it pretty low on that one right now, I'm guessing, especially because finals are in like a month, right? Yeah. Ooh. Then the last one for finance and occupation, I have a financial plans for the future. And getting money, I don't think is considered a financial plan. Like, are you planning on investing or setting up a retirement fund? Something other than, and what is it, just getting this bread? Is that the phrase now? Everybody ready to move on to the next one? So, the intellectual section. Hopefully you guys all score off the charts on this one. So, our first one is, I have specific intellectual goals, i.e. learning a new skill or a specific major. So if you're a freshman, maybe a little lower on this because you don't have a specific major picked out yet, or you don't know exactly what you want to study yet, things along those lines. Number 2, I pursue mentally stimulating interests or hobbies. So that could be reading. If you're a part of a major associated club, or you partake in regular discussions, or a book club, or things along those lines. I am generally satisfied with my education plan or vocation. So you guys happy with what you're going into, what you're studying? I have positive thoughts. So, the majority of the time, how do you see your outlook being? Positive? Or are you kind of cynical? If you guys have any questions about any of these throughout, if you want me to be more specific or something along those lines, by all means, let me know. I would describe myself as a lifelong learner. You guys are all still young, so, by all means, but yeah. Then the last one for the intellectual, I commit time and energy to professional and self-development. So that could be anything from getting different certifications. So if you are planning on going into the health field, getting your certified health educator's certificate, or specialist certificate, sorry, I forgot the last letter. Or getting other types of specializations if you're going into nursing or something like that. If you plan on, I'm sure there's types of certifications for business and stuff too. So continuing to develop and get professional opportunities that are going to help you invest in you. For the emotional section, which is the bottom left one, I have a sense of fun and laughter. Took everybody a little while longer to start coloring on that one. You guys had to think about whether or not you laugh or not. I try and laugh all the time. Usually it's at my own expense. Or Lorenzo's. I am able to feel and label my feelings. So, being cognizant or understanding what you're feeling and why you're feeling that way. When you're sad, understanding why you feel sad. When you're angry, knowing why you're angry and feeling justified in that.
I feel like my husband would disagree with all my answers right now.
Why is that?
Pregnancy hormones.
Ah. Side note, what is your, the weirdest craving you've had? So I've heard some doozies.
I put Tabasco sauce in cereal a lot. My husband thinks it's weird, but I can't stop. I put Tabasco sauce on everything. I will literally drink Tabasco sauce.
Can't hot foods induce labor?
I don't know. I mean, it hasn't so far.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, you might want to start watching that now that you're getting a little closer to the finish line.
I eat spicy food anyways.
Yeah.
I can't stop eating Tabasco.
But nothing like pickles and ice cream or anything like that.
No, I think my husband actually got most of the cravings. I have a 2-year-old. This is my last kid. I'm definitely getting my tubes tied with this one. But
It's actually much easier for him to get a vasectomy.
oh, he's getting one of those too. Yeah. This is a mutual relationship. So if I have to give birth, he's getting his snipped too. 2 is plenty. But with our son, he's 2 now. He got cravings all the time. He would literally just mow on Oreos. I had to start getting him on a diet. I don't know. That's the only weird craving I've had. It's just Tabasco sauce.
I mean, I feel like that
It's weird.
sometimes
It's
anyway.
weird what I put it on, but
Yeah.
that's so weird.
Well, I mean, did you do that before you were pregnant? No. Okay. I express my feelings appropriately. So appropriately can be a very, very wide term, I guess. It's a cultural thing or a personal thing. But, do you think you express your feelings appropriately? I have a sense of control in my life, and I am able to adapt to change. Do you feel like you have a handle on things, or do you feel like you're on a, what is it? You're on a bicycle and it's on fire, and the tires are on fire, and everything else is on fire. Has anybody seen that meme? I am able to comfort or console myself when I am troubled. So are you able to, have an understanding of why you feel the way you do, and rationalize through it and eventually come out on the other side feeling better. And then the last one in red, others would describe me as emotionally stable. You get a pass on this one.
I'm just laughing because I'm just thinking about all the sarcastic comments that you'd be making right now.
So the social section, green. I am able to resolve conflicts in all areas of my life. How do you think you are at resolving conflict or getting through issues with your friends, your coworkers, your peers, your family, your significant other, or it could just be random people? I am aware of the feelings of others and can respond appropriately. So are you good at empathizing and realizing that other people are upset and resolving these issues or helping them? I have at least 3 people with whom I have a close, trusting relationship. Hopefully you guys have more than 3 people. More the merrier, right? I am aware of and able to set and respect my own and others' boundaries. I have satisfying social interconnection with others. So are you able to talk with others or make friends easily or just start up a conversation with somebody and move through that with relative ease? I have a sense of belonging and not being isolated. So do you feel welcome? Do you feel like you belong? So that was our last green one. We're going to move on to the purple section, spiritual section. So the first one being, I practice meditation, pray, or engage in some type of growth practice. Like I mentioned before, this doesn't have to mean religious. It can be spiritual. It can be whatever that means to you. I have a general sense of serenity or peace. Do you feel at peace spiritually? Or do you feel like it's something you could work on? The third one being, I have faith in a higher power. And that can mean a lot of different things depending on your personal views. I have a sense of meaning and purpose in my life. I trust others and am able to forgive others and myself and let things go. And our last one, principles, ethics, morals, all provide guides for my life. So now that we've finished up the spiritual section, hopefully your guys' wheel doesn't look like this anymore. Did anybody notice some crossover in some of those things? Or some areas where they could definitely supplement one another or kind of support each other? No, nothing? They were all completely individual and different? Somebody say something.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So did you notice any area where there might have been some crossover? And you wouldn't have written it down, but is there any area of crossover throughout the questions or phrases, where you think they might be supplementing each other or interconnected and stuff like that? No. I mean the statements. So, like, for instance, I noticed in the spiritual and emotional and even a little bit in the intellectual, they were really similar. So those areas kind of, I think, help with each other, particularly how you see the world, how you see yourself. Even the social ones, how you see others and how you interact with others. So that's why I like the wheel, because it's all still connected and they all kind of go full circle to help each other, make your overall quality of life better. So, reflection. Obviously, each of you is a unique, wonderful individual. There's no right or wrong answer. Just consider this to be feedback. So, obviously, you don't need to share anything personal or if you don't want to, but which section has the most color? Freddie? What? You don't have to if you don't want to, but which one did you color in the most on? Or did you just fill up the whole thing?
No.
I'm not saying like individual ones. I'm saying like you can say one color.
For me, it looks like it's red.
Red? Cool.
Physical. The orange one?
The orange?
Yeah.
Cool. You?
My blue, green, and purple are exactly the same.
Blue, green, and purple. Man, you killed it. How about you? Red?
Green.
Green? Cool. So what do you guys think that's accurate for you as an individual? Do you think you're really well off and very strong in those areas?
In the areas I color the most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody feel that was kind of an accurate representation of how they view themselves? All right. What about the least? What are areas that we might need to do some work on? You guys don't have to do these ones if you don't want to, but just shout them out if you're feeling something in particular. Like, I didn't even fill this out, and I don't know. Probably yellow for me. I could always use more money. No.
I would say physical.
Physical?
Having 2 children does a number on your body.
The blue one. I guess because the questions were like the lifelong.
Oh, for like school and like your plans and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a freshman?
Yes.
Okay. See? Exactly. You don't have to nail down exactly what you want to do the rest of your life this very second. Anybody else want to go?
Yellow.
Yellow? Yeah. Cool. So, how can we add to some of these areas? What can we do to increase the color in those areas and make ourselves better in these areas? I mean, now you've gotten these very specific topics broken down, and it's like, man, this is, if it's going to add to my overall quality of life, you know, it would probably be beneficial to maybe do a little bit here or there to make some changes that would help me in the long run. You obviously need to pick a major, figure it out. You? Nothing?
Know how to spend my money.
Not spend so much money?
Yeah, know how to spend my money.
Oh, know how to spend your money. Yeah, I know that feeling, man. Do I really need the new pair of shoes, or can these ones last me another 4 months? Freddie?
Yeah, like, you know, plan out like it's myself, and I'm like, I need that. Like, I need food. That's what
Oh yeah, same here. Was yellow your low area?
it's technically my second highest area.
Oh,
I already have planned it out in a way.
Oh, well then,
But then I still feel like I need to work on it.
oh yeah. Well, you know, I mean, obviously nobody's perfect. We can always do better, right? What specifically do you think out of the lower ones that you had, what could you do to help facilitate that? I guess, which one was your low one? The purple? I mean, that's a really personal thing. So, you know, it's completely up to you how you view that and move forward through that. So, I should probably do a lot better there myself, you know. So, some just very, very basic examples, and these aren't necessarily going towards anything in specific, but they kind of run the gambit on ways that we could improve in certain areas. Proper diet, physical exercise, proper sleeping patterns, personal hygiene, absence of bad habits or addictions, health education, safe environment, physical fitness, social support and a healthy relationships, emotions, avoiding drugs and alcohol. I mean, those are all really, really simple, or not, I guess not necessarily simple. I shouldn't use that generalization, but, you know, these are just some very small ways. Anybody think of any other ways, you know, to better yourself? And the nice thing about like a lot of these is they cross over to different areas. You know, if you increase your health education, i.e. you learn, increase your health education by taking this PE class. So that's already going to be affecting your intellectual, your social, because you got to come here and meet all these wonderful people. And hopefully you guys will at least say hi to each other next time you see each other. And then you guys work out in that class, right? Yeah, and then physical. So that's already 3 of them right there, just 1. So there's lots of examples, very, very simple ways to help, you know, increase your overall quality of life. So what do you guys think? I mean, after covering this, you know, what do you guys think about wellness, and like how has it changed how you view certain aspects of your life?
I feel in my personal life, now that I've matured more and I'm graduating and I've learned from all the classes I've taken, I feel a lot more well-rounded in every other aspect other than physical. I had a lot of complications with my first son. This is a boy too. And I was on bed rest for almost a year before and after I had him. So I gained a lot of weight. So part of this PE class, I do like prenatal yoga. And I'm on certain restrictions, but it's like
No sushi.
no sushi. No wine either. But physically, this pregnancy has been a lot better than my previous one. So being in this class too has been kind of nice because you get to exercise here at the school and stuff.
Mhm.
So that's helped a little bit. Working on that postpartum will be different. But
Yeah.
hopefully better.
Cool. Does anybody have any other ideas of how they, could have wellness or just increase their quality of life? Like I know I asked before, what did healthy living mean to you? But does this presentation kind of, I guess, expand upon that and help you guys see things a little differently? And does it make sense, I guess? Yeah? You guys have any questions about anything? No? It's all pretty straightforward, right? What about the activity? Was it kind of interesting to do some self-reflection on certain aspects? Yeah? Did anybody find anything that kind of surprised them when they actually sat down and thought about it?
For me, it's like a strange activity. Like my whole health classes, I have to take it to graduate this December, but because I'm pregnant, I don't know, like emotionally and physically and socially, my life's a lot different than when I'm not pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different aspect. If I was doing this not pregnant, I feel my answers would be different.
Mm-hmm. Do you want an extra one so you can do it when you're
No,
after?
One was enough. It's okay.
Fair enough.
And different perspectives.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's actually all I have for you guys for today. Thank you for showing up. You guys don't have any questions about anything? We really hope to see you all next week at the Healthy Tips for Holiday Eating. I think it's going to be pretty interesting because I know me personally, I eat a lot over the holidays. And it's kind of disturbing when you see what a normal portion size is, or what's considered a normal plate for Thanksgiving, and the amount of calories on said plate.